Representing Coral World.
I am, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna take this up.
Request modification number 3 to CZM permit number CZT-2-12 LNW Coral World VI Inc. doing business as Coral World Ocean Park. Project background. On October 24, 2013, following approval by the governor and the legislature of the U.S. Virgin Islands, Coral World VI Inc. was issued major CZM permit number CZT-2-12 LNW for the construction of an in-water habitat providing a secure pool for public display of and interactive encounters with dolphins in Water Bay, St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. The proposed project consists of, on the land side, learning center, entrance, drive and parking, exterior restrooms, sky bridge, dolphin way walk, dolphin interaction walk, open space. On the submerged land area included safety zone, buoy area, 40 feet perimeter safe zone, main dolphin swim, a medical pen, a maternity ward, a seclusion area, sanctuary pen, docks and other structures, main 12-foot perimeter dock total, main 12-foot perimeter dock total area, which was 10,480 square feet, staff/service docks, observation pavilion, and gateway gazebo. Request for modification number 3. On April 26, 2019, the committee submitted its third request for modification to major CZM permit number CZT-02-12 LNW to the Coastal Zone Management Office to remove the limitation imposed by special condition number 6 of the CZM permit and allow the issue to be governed by applicable federal regulations. Special condition number 6 states that the committee is allowed to commence its interactive program with 6 dolphins. Should the committee wish to have additional dolphins as a part of the interactive program, requests of such shall be made to the committee. The committee has stated that it has a contract with the Chicago Zoological / Society / Brookfield Zoo to acquire 4 of its dolphins. The plan has been to initiate transport of those dolphins upon a successful inspection by USDA of the Coral World facility. This was completed on February 14, 2019, and the dolphins are ready to be transported to Coral World. Recently, the committee responded to the need of an emergency evacuation of 4 dolphins from the Dolfinarium in Scottsdale, Arizona, due to a facility shutdown, and agreed to accept them at Coral World Sea Sanctuary. They arrived on February 20, 2019, and now reside in the facility at Water Bay. Accepting the 4 from Brookfield will exceed the amount permitted in the CZT-02-12 LNW permit. The committee states the facility can provide suitable housing for up to 15 dolphins, and that special condition number 6 states the committee is allowed a maximum of 15 dolphins, 12 of which may be part of an interactive program with an additional 3 allowed during times of birth. Therefore, special condition number 6, limiting the count to 6, is not based on the capacity of the Coral World facility. Based on the foregoing, the committee requests a modification of the permit for the removal of special condition number 6 to allow the dolphins from the Brookfield facility and those already received from Arizona. In keeping with the request for the proposed modification, the committee has submitted the following. Request for modification letter dated April 26, 2019, site plans and drawings, and a $500 processing fee. Staff findings. Staff has reviewed the request for modification to major CZM permit number CZT-02-12-LNW for the removal of the limitation of condition 6, for the removal of the limitation of 6 dolphins for the Coral World facility, allowing the committee to receive an additional 4 dolphins it is contracted to accept from Brookfield. Staff recognize the fact that the committee has accepted and contracted a total of 8 dolphins for the opening phase of the Coral World dolphin habitat, and that the modification will not affect the overall purposes, functions, layout, and plant operations for the development. The project will remain consistent with the original permitted approval. Therefore, pursuant to Title 12 Virgin Islands Rules and Regulations, subsection 910-14A, the Commissioner has determined that the modification does not substantially alter or modify the scope, nature, or characteristics of the existing permit CZT-02-12-LNW issued to Coral World VI Inc. in accordance with Title 12 Virgin Islands Rules and Regs, subsection 910-14B. This determination is forwarded to the committee to impose any additional conditions that it deems necessary to satisfy the provisions of the Act. Recommendation. Staff recommends that the St. Thomas Committee of the Virgin Islands Coastal Zone Management Commission uphold the determination of the Commissioner and pursuant to Title 12 Virgin Islands Rules and Regs subsection 910-14B, reinforce that all the existing conditions of major CZM permit number CZT-2-12-LNW remain in full force and effect.
Thank you very much. You're representing this correct?
Yes, sir. I must begin by apologizing on behalf of my clients because both Trudy Pryor and the teller, the general manager and the owner of the facility, are all filing, and when we receive the notice that they want to invite the contract, I told them I would proceed on their behalf.
Okay, based on that, I'm sure you have some knowledge of the emergency that came about.
Yes.
So these dolphins.
Yes.
Can you explain us why it was an emergency? Because I know we have a limit in the original permit.
Right. What happened, the Dolfinarium, the facility in Scottsdale, Arizona, had a number of unexplained deaths of the dolphins in his possession.
That you said?
Deaths.
Okay.
The 4 dolphins that were still there, they were scheduled to be removed because Dolfinarium was going to shut down this facility. The federal government, aware of the fact that we were here completing the new facility at Coral World, told Dolfinarium of the opportunity for the Coral World facility. Coral World was contacted, they said yes, they would take them on an emergency basis, not evacuation. And so we went through the process of notifying the federal government. The federal government gave its approval for the transport of the 4 dolphins from Dolfinarium to Virgin Islands. They arrived in April. When they arrived in April, I discussed with my clients the fact that we were still in the contract with Chicago Zoological Society to obtain their 4 dolphins, which had been born in captivity, bred, and were scheduled to be brought to the Virgin Islands, St. Thomas, as soon as the facility had been licensed by the feds. Since the feds licensed the facility to accept the 4 dolphins under emergency, now all of the conditions required to transport the 4 from Chicago have been satisfied. So they're prepared to send their 4 dolphins to Coral World. We can't obviously violate the terms of the CZM permit for the town, which limits them to 6. And we don't want to breach the contract we have with Chicago, because those contract relationships are very important, particularly in the marine mammal industry. So I recommended to my clients, since the permit itself authorizes 15 dolphins, 12 plus 3 calves in the permitting process, we can seek the removal of the interim 6 limitation, which allows us to bring in the additional 4 up to 8. And I have said, we will continue, we supply the monitoring, the water quality monitoring every month. We will continue to do that.
Should you provide that to me?
Yeah. As required by the permit.
Permit number 5, condition number 7.
Right. And Amy is also here. She does the testing, the water quality testing, and files reports.
Just to say, they actually have to sample every week. It's not enough. They sample every week. But also, because the concern was the dolphins would contaminate the water because they don't get water. So we have to test every week. And so we test every week, and we've got 5 stations we test, including control sites on both sides and then independent around it. And then we also are monitoring the corals constantly around the pen. And then also we're doing separate samples independent on both sides to look at increases in nitrates and phosphates. And that gets given every month to CZM, DEP, Army Corps of Engineers, National Marine Fisheries, PRD, and Habitat Conservation. So everybody gets them every month. The Coral World, because they're concerned about the health of the dolphins, have had us actually do some additional sites. And then also, every time we get heavy rains, they have us come back out. So we're not just sampling once a week, we're sampling every week, and then every time we get heavy rainfall to make sure that we did have one occasion after the really heavy rains we had after not the most recent storm, but the one before. We had one day that we had enteric oxide of 104 in the pen, but we resampled the next day and it had already fallen. But we had 104 in the pen, and it was 1,000 out, back towards the shore, towards Margarita. That was super, super bad. So we only had one day of bad bacteria so far. That's when we started on February the 21st. We started right when they left practice.
Originally.
Yeah, and we were supposed to.
The original 4.
The original, and we're supposed to sample for the way that everybody decided, because we needed to look to see what happens in the water quality changes, is we were going to do this weekly sampling for you. We're also sampling the sediment. Anytime they increase the number of dolphins, we have to do a year's sampling again. So basically, if they are allowed to have the 4 additional dolphins, we'll continue the sampling.
Well, if they're already here, you should already have.
Oh, we already been testing. No, we've been testing since February. But if they get 4 more, instead of just going until next February, we will now go till next, until next, I guess, September. So
Well, I'm concerned about the results from the illegal 4 that are already here.
they
I'm not sure why
only,
they're illegal.
The ones that you just brought down,
they're not illegal.
they're illegal because it says that you have the condition 6 says you're permitted to allow to commence its interactive program with 6 dolphins.
But we only have 4.
We only have 4.
And they didn't bring the dolphins they were planning on bringing because they had to accept these emergency dolphins because the dolphins were dying.
But they didn't have to accept them without asking for permission.
the dolphins were dying.
So you're asking
But
us,
we had your permission to bring in 6.
Okay.
So we brought in 4.
So you only have, okay, all right, but then you brought in an additional 4.
No.
No,
so you're asking us for permission to give modified permission number 6 to allow you to do 2 more. Correct, to make it 8.
correct.
Okay, so you just have 2 illegal dolphins here.
We have no legal dolphins.
Wait,
We have 4 dolphins
Big 4
that were
You brought 4 in originally,
correct,
and we gave you permission to have 6.
correct.
So that's 6. How many
Correct.
do you have out there now?
4.
So they never had their permission.
Oh, you mean these are the first 4? You mean you haven't had any in the last year?
The first 4 came, the facility was completed and licensed by the federal government in April. At that point,
April of this year?
yes, at that point, we had the right to bring in up to 6.
Right.
But,
Okay,
and we, yes, and we had our contract with the Brookfield Zoo, Chicago Zoological, to ship in 4. But because the federal government knew that there was a new federally approved facility without dolphins, and they had these 4 dolphins in Arizona, that they had to get out of Arizona on an emergency basis, they contacted us and said, "Can you take these 4 dolphins?"
Okay,
And we said, "Sure."
but they were the first dolphins
Those
you
were the
had.
first 4 dolphins that came.
See, I didn't understand
Yeah,
that.
they came there on an emergency evacuation from Arizona. And now, we still have our contract with Brookfield. Therefore, and because we now have a federally certified facility, they're saying, okay, you've met the conditions for our contract, we're prepared to ship you your 4. And I'm saying, hang on, I gotta go back to CZM to get permission to bring in the additional 4, so I can have 8.
Again, this one, 2.
No,
bring-
bring
bring
an
it to
additional 2
2.
because you
Right.
already have 6.
I'm bringing it to 6, right?
You already have permission.
Right.
Okay, I thought you were already doing this program.
No, 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 no,
I
no.
haven't been there. I don't like to see them.
As a rule, I don't advise my clients to break the law.
Well, that's why I thought you'd been breaking out. I'm just asking our attorney if we if you had a violation and and.
I try really hard to avoid violations.
Oh, okay, so you didn't just bring them in without asking.
Correct. And we got the, and
That's
we
why
got
I've
this,
been calling them illegal
right,
dogs.
and we got this complete approval of the Virgin Islands Department of Agriculture, which also has jurisdiction to bring in these.
You had to get them.
Yes. So, we've been legal with the entire government for these 4.
Okay. Okay.
When the testing was done, I think you said earlier, Mr. Dempsey, that within the enclosed area, the testing was fine. But outside of the area, he said that the testing result was very high.
Yeah, we can, but unfortunately, there's a lot of runoff that comes down from Smith Bay, and a lot of times, you know, 'cause I have big waterlines, ocean systems. We also test the ambient water quality for the beaches and for the ambient, and the samples off the Margaritaville Beach and off the spill, the runoff comes out, is often very high, and we see the exact same thing. You see that the water quality near the shoreline is really poor, and then as you go offshore, it gets better, it gets better because the current comes in, and the current actually comes and goes towards Margaritaville and comes back around. So we're fortunate, we're upstream. We're not downstream of there, we're upstream.
US inspection of the is that correct?
Yes, yes.
And we never have to do that.
I believe
You have one.
We should have.
And just the Army Corps permit does not have a restriction on that. It grants the full.
What happens now when you have now 6?
we have 4 now.
4 now.
I'm gonna add 4 more for Chicago.
You're asking to
All
add.
right, we're asking that,
Let me ask.
increase the permit by 2 to bring in the 4.
And the reason we're having, because what we're going to do is we're going to bring in 6, sample the water quality, sample the soil, sample the just keep an eye on the corals. And if we saw degradation, then we know, okay, then we have too many dolphins. And so we've now been sampling since the day they got there. We started sampling the 21st, which is before they got there, just to get a new good baseline. But we're supposed to sample for a year and then make the decision, then we can go higher. But because we haven't sampled a year, it's all.
No. Hang it on the fact that you get to go higher.
Yeah, well,
Because I'm going to put the brakes on you right
That's
now.
what the permit says. That's what
I
the permit
understand
says.
that, but my question is, based on the amount that you have right now, and that rules that you're going to bring in, which will give you a total of 8. What happens when these animals start to breed? Yes. To produce other products.
Well, the permit says that you can have 3 calves, you can have 12 total, plus 3 calves. And what happens is the relationship that Coral World has with dolphin companies around the country, those animals will be transported to, once they can be transported in terms of age and health, to other facilities. So unless we get permission from CZM to go beyond the 15 that's currently in the permit, we'll always have to transport the additional facility, the additional dolphins after we get that limit.
The reason I asked the question is, you have a limit, and once you get beyond that limit, you say you have to transfer them elsewhere. I'm wondering in my mind if this is a transfer or this is going to be sale. It's got to be a sale because it's gone over the limit. So we're breeding animals.
It's a money-making thing.
I mean, I have to look at it in that context. Now you may be reading me wrong, but I think I'm reading right. Okay? So just be aware that we are quite aware of what is taking place. And the reason I say that is the last time we made a site visit at that facility, we found some questionable practices taking place. And I was not comfortable with it. Neither was the other members of the commission.
In fact, one of them even has died since.
So I'm just putting it out to you. That fine, we're in business. But at the same time, the business must also understand that when decisions are made by this commission, they must be honored. Because if they don't, then we know what to do. And that's not going to be nice.
Nor even agree.
Fine. Just letting you, because you are their attorney. And I expect you to represent them, which you are doing now. And if they were here, I would have told them the same thing.
And I believe me, I will tell them what you communicated to me. So I'm not in the habit of representing all of them.
What is sex of the animals that are coming males or mixture?
To be honest, I don't know.
Let's put the figure that they are all female. You never know. So we got more to breed. We will do a site inspection shortly. And what I'm attempting to do is cover as many site inspections as possible within 1 day, so that we don't have to tie up the commission. We are working here.
I've heard that before.
We are working here, and we don't get paid. Okay? We're just as a public service to protect the people within the territory.
Dolphins what is the plan for dolphin shot or
No, the Dolphins from Arizona are the ones that are here. But before they here, they came in April.
what is
That Well, there are two in Barbados that are about to receive final approval, and there are two, I forgot where, and so they're ready to be shipped. It's just a question of us having to honor our contract, and because we're not satisfied with all the conditions for delivery, we're simply waiting notification from them and from the federal government that they're now authorized to deliver.
So you bring it from Barbados?
No, they have to go through the same, because they're in Barbados, they have to go through a separate quarantine for federal.
So when do they probably think?
They're being inspected in Barbados.
But what about the ones in Chicago at the Brookfield Zoo?
Those are two of the four from the Brookfield Zoo.
So the two that are not in the Brookfield Zoo are actually in Barbados? Is that
Correct.
right?
Correct.
They're not in, there's nothing in Chicago?
I don't, there are four coming under a contract with Chicago. I do not know where they are present. I know the two are presently located in Barbados. Where the other two are, I don't know.
Okay, so they're the,
I'm sorry,
Chicago.
it's Bermuda. I just want to clarify, it's Bermuda, not Barbados. I just want to clarify. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
Oh, thank you. We don't typically ask for comments from people in the audience. However, we have the right to accept the comments. In order to, we have that right. If we. So they're out of the country anyway. They're out of the, they're out of the United States.
Correct.
But so the Chicago Zoo Society happens to be a broker of dolphins,
No.
but they're not dolphins in their zoo. They left from Chicago, like the sea lions left from Thailand.
Right.
Okay. One of the sea lions that left from Thailand, I think one died. Okay, sorry. I'm just trying to clarify and understand. It's a little confusing between Chicago and Barbados and different. Okay. And did they said this, they arrived on February 20th. However, I thought you mentioned some of them from Arizona came in April. I'm confused.
We started testing more quality than a month, we started testing before they arrived.
So when did they actually, this says they arrived on February 20th, 2019, and now resides in a facility at Water Bay. That alludes that they arrived in St. Thomas.
Correct.
Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. So what about the ones that came in April? Somebody just mentioned that because I wrote it down.
I don't know.
One of you said something about April, so I want to get them. Pardon me? They went to Bermuda in April?
No. In April I referenced with the application that we filed to allow the increase from 6 to 8.
Oh, it was applied for in April,
Right.
even though they arrived in February.
No. The four that arrived in February arrived under the terms and conditions of the existing permit.
Thank you, you're right. It just all sorted itself out over
And
here.
I want to be real clear, none of the dolphins that have brought here have died.
No, but a sea lion died.
So I don't know, not the dolphins.
I didn't say that.
Yeah,
One
somebody
of
said
which of
dolphins
the
that have
sea,
been
one of the
dolphins.
sea lions who died, when he mentioned we had done an inspection, I said one of them has died. Okay.
So the remaining two in Chicago, will next year?
No. Once we have this commission opinion before, they'll all come. Once they have, they're in the process of finalizing their federal quarantine review. And once that's done, they'll come along with the other two, or any other states.
So the quarantine station in Bermuda is approved by the federal government?
Correct. Correct.
Chair, question by staff.
Second?
Question from staff.
Go ahead.
This is Assistant Director Greg Richards. This is to the Fire and Evacuation Agency. What was Noah's involvement in the dolphins, the 4 dolphins that are here?
NOAA is a federal agency that came down and inspected and said, we'd like to take these dolphins that are in the bad habitat and put them somewhere safe. I mean, I have to tell you, I saw, because we went out and sampled, I saw these dolphins the day that they got here, and they were put in this big open pen, and those dolphins stayed in a little tiny enclosure they were put in because, you know, we took one of them finally up, brave enough, and went out and looked at them a while because they've been living in swimming pools. I mean, so at least they now got to go out. Yeah, thank you. That's what I thought too. And now suddenly they got all this big thing. And one of the craziest things is one of the dolphins ate a fish went out and caught a wild fish. Fish swimming through them, and it kind of, he was like shocked because they had not even had.
Another question. The dolphins that are here currently and the 4 that will be coming, how many of them were born in captivity?
Oh, yeah, you can't even know. They would, yeah.
Okay.
You can't, that's, no.
You're not allowed to capture wild dolphins.
It's against the law.
Okay.
Correct.
But I just wanted to put it on the record. What's the survivability of these dolphins if they were released into the water? Do we know that?
I don't think that's something, but I have to tell you, watching, I mean, I was horrified when I first saw these poor things, trying, and they were like scared because the wind was so big. And that was sad, that was very sad to see that. And, now, it took, the youngest one is the one that finally went and started swimming around, it took the other ones quite a while to.
They already adapted.
The reason I asked that because I know in zoos,
You can't let animals.
yeah, you can't put lions back in a savannah or in safari.
Because they got used to feeding. I mean, it's like somebody says, let dogs and cats go. They got used to being fed. That's why they don't want you to go start feeding bears up in Alaska. Bears get used to people feeding them, and they have all these begging bears and parks and stuff that no longer go out and hunt.
Is there a near natural as close to what we have as possible anywhere else as an alternative for these dolphins to be here?
But if any of you guys ever went up to Portola and saw their facility up there, it was
Disgusting.
thank you, that's a good way to put it. You should, if you're gonna have to, I think that, it's something, the thing is these dolphins are already in captivity. They aren't wild dolphins as somebody caught and put in captivity because, I personally think it's wrong to go out and catch fish and stick them in aquariums. I mean, you see the fish are sitting there putting their noses against the wall because they're not used to it. You're talking about something that's been multiple generations bred. It's, they're basically domesticated animals now.
To respond to your question, I think it says something that the federal government, which has been monitoring the development of this facility, thought so highly of it that when the 4 dolphins in Arizona needed to be evacuated, they were scheduled to go, 2 of them, to go to SeaWorld in Hawaii. And instead, Noah said, we suggest that you send them to Coral World in the Virgin Islands. And then Coral was contacted today to take them.
Noah is the lead person.
The lead person, people that
Yes.
we have dealt with.
Right.
Jolie Harrison, who is the Chief Permits and Conservation Division, Office of Protected Resources. Actually, copies of these documents are also on file with, because we showed them, we documented that they traveled with federal authorization. And the other person,
So we have a copy of that, so
Yes.
we could look at that
right,
recommendation.
and the other person we dealt with is Jennifer Skidmore and Courtney Smith, who are the administrators of the National Inventory of Marine Mammals.
What was the Smith first name?
Courtney. And again, you have a copy of this as well.
I move that we make a site visit. To Coral World.
Been moved and second. All in favor? You set a time and date
Okay.
to make the visit. I'm quite sure we coordinated when the owners on island.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
Not that we're not wasting time.
No. We will have the director of the entire operations, Mr. Keller, and the buyer, present for that.
Not that we don't love to see you, we do anytime you appear, of course.
That's okay. I trust my clients to speak for themselves. And you guys don't need to see my ugly face anymore.
So we know when you come what to expect.
Okay, anything else? Marie?
No, that's it.
All right, thank you. Have a good evening.
So they should have made that contact with the broker in lieu of their subject
I made a statement earlier when we opened the meeting that a request was made, but it was not listed on the agenda. We are now going to executive session. In the executive session, we will deal with request that was made to serve them, and they're here. Fine.